What's the most unforgivable thing a nurse ever did? My dad was in the hospital for 3 weeks after a heart attack. He was 67, scared, but optimistic. The doctor said he'd be fine if he followed the recovery plan. He wasn't the type to complain about anything. This man once mowed the lawn with a sprained ankle. So when he did start asking for help, I knew something was really wrong. There was this night nurse named Janet. On paper, friendly. She smiled for visitors, answered questions during the day. But my dad kept mentioning weird stuff. Said she'd ignore his call button for hours, yank the blood pressure cuff like she was mad at it, and just act rough. I brushed it off at first, thinking he was just tired and cranky from being stuck in a hospital bed, until my sister Emma started noticing it too. During her evening visits, Emma told me Janet would roll her eyes when Dad asked about his meds. Once, she slammed his water pitcher down so hard it spilled everywhere. Still, it was our word against hers. So one Tuesday, I stayed late, told the nurses I was just reading in the corner chair next to Dad's bed. When 11 p.m. rolled around, Janet came in for her usual round. She didn't know I was awake behind the curtain. What I heard next still pisses me off. She was supposed to help Dad sit up and take his heart meds. Instead, she just shoved the pills into his mouth while he was lying flat. He started choking, coughing hard. She groaned and said, "Swallow it already. You're not dying." My dad was gasping, struggling, clearly distressed, and she just stood there scrolling on her phone. He asked for water. She said, "You get 1 cup per shift. You already had yours." That was a flat-out lie. I'd been there since 6 p.m. She hadn't brought him anything. Then his heart monitor started beeping. Stress spike from the choking. She walked over and turned the alarm off. Turned it off. Like it was just some annoying notification. Not her job to investigate it. Not a man's heart trying to keep him alive. The second she left the room, I called the charge nurse. When she checked on Dad, his lips were still blue. She was horrified, promised to report it. The next morning, I met with the hospital administrator, told them everything, every bit of neglect we'd seen. They said they'd launch an internal review. But guess what? That night, Janet was back on duty like nothing happened. So I got creative. I started staying past visiting hours every night, hid in the bathroom or behind curtains when Janet did her rounds. I documented everything, took notes, recorded audio, snuck short video clips when I could. 5 nights in a row, she skipped patient checks, spent whole shifts on Facebook, talked to elderly patients like they were toddlers, blew off IV alarms, complained out loud that people were needy, told one woman she was too dramatic for crying in pain. I had hours of evidence. Then I went nuclear. I submitted the entire package to the state nursing board and the hospital's corporate office. But I didn't stop there. I posted some of the audio clips and timestamps on the hospital's Facebook page with a detailed breakdown of what Janet had done to my father. The post exploded. Hundreds of shares. People started commenting with their own experiences with Janet. Turns out we weren't the only ones. 48 hours later, Janet was gone, fired, blacklisted from that hospital system. Pending investigation with the board, the hospital transferred Dad to a private room with their best cardiac nurses. New team, new treatment plan, better everything. He made a full recovery. And Janet? I don't know what happened to her nursing license, but if there's any justice, she'll never treat another patient again.